I missed being me. I felt trapped. I couldn't express myself. I just felt trapped.
Your first game back. Tell me about that, and then the span of games you did immediately following.
I was so excited when the doctors told me that they'll plan my chemo treatments around my schedule. I gave my schedule, and that was the initial plan. I did the first game, was UCLA and Gonzaga, number 1 against number 2. It was in Las Vegas, and I went and did that game, and it was so emotional. Dave O'Brien I worked with, who treated me like royalty, and it was so beautiful to see guys I worked with came there. It was, sorry. There were times I never thought that day would come. I mean, going through all the stuff, you know, from the melanoma to the lymphoma to the bile duct, I had bile duct blockage. And that was eliminated by putting a stent. But, you know, going through all those periods, you have so much doubt about, you know, we're gonna live tomorrow. I mean, never mind sitting at courtside. Anybody knows me knows that's one of the great loves of my life. After my family, and I love my wife and family, being at courtside for a game and to sit there with number 1 and 2. When I walked in there, the emotion just, the crowd gave me, crowd was standing ovation, and going to the different games, Kenton University, North Carolina, Michigan game. They did a tribute to me on the big board, fans standing up, arenas, a Baylor chant my name, Dickie V.
It was very emotional, you know.
For you too?
For my whole family to see him there. You know, just so happy that he was able to do that. You know, that's what he loves to do, and he's always told everyone, I'm going to be behind this mic when I'm 100 years old, and everybody, you know, that's his line. So to see him back there and happy again and doing that, but then again, the next thing happened was the vocal cords.
When's the first time you realized there might be an issue again with the voice?
Vocal cords. Oh my God. It was probably, not the first game, not the second game, when I did the Baylor game with Villanova with John Shambi, terrific guy, and he tried to help me through it. We were having dinner there in Waco, Texas, a beautiful restaurant, and there's about 12 of us and having a ball. I couldn't speak. I couldn't get a word. It was just brutal. It was tough, and I knew right then and there it was basically going to be over for doing games for a while, because I just couldn't get anything out.
On that first visit to Dr. Zeitels, again, and he's who treated you, 12, 14
years ago.
So you're in his Boston office, and he has this special endoscope that's looking at your vocal cords while you're watching on video screen what he's saying. What's your reaction when you see just the devastation to the vocal cords?
You're just depressed. You're down. You're upset, you're frustrated, or everything you can think of.
It is quite a dangerous problem that he has. He's coming through it just like the other tumor problems. It is called carcinoma in situ. So it's a breath away from being cancer. And it's in a very difficult area to get to in the vocal cords.
He said, Dick, I told you need to see me every year for a follow-up. And because you were feeling good, you didn't follow my orders. And this is why you're in the position you were in today. Because it's been, slowly getting back to where you were 14 years ago by not, coming to me and letting me maintain it. So, he gave him a little scolding.
But had he come annually like he was supposed to?
It would have been even smaller, and I would have been able to control it easier. He was somewhat fortunate that it was into a certain area of the vocal cords that was less affecting his voice, which is why he's speaking right now. If this had gotten to a larger extent, he might have needed radiation for it. The likelihood in his circumstances, he would have completely lost his voice.
Initially, he could not get to see what the real problem was because there was so much inflammation. So he said, I need you 8 weeks of voice rest, and then come back.
No talking.
no talking. And I was using one of those pads, writing everything down, whiteboards, writing, scream. And you go to a restaurant, you write down. You know, I had a big sign that said, people were gonna come over and say hello to me, and I'm saying, sorry, I can't talk due to my vocal cord situation. And it's just so frustrating.
I was talking to your oncologist, Dr. Brown. He told me that your lowest point, in his opinion, from what he saw during the entire process, the melanoma, lymphoma, vocal cord issues, was not when it was thought you might have bile duct cancer and your days could be numbered, but was rather how he saw you get when you realized you weren't going to be able to talk again for a while. And Dr. Zeitels said he wasn't surprised to hear Dr. Brown say that either. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's been my livelihood. It's been what I'm known for. Here's what I'm known for: being a talkative kind of guy, going out, having fun. Not only just the games, but all my life. You know, it's funny. Somebody sent me a picture of my yearbook. They have a picture of me in my high school senior year, and underneath the picture says, "Everybody's buddy, man. Everybody." And I missed that. I missed being me. I felt trapped. I couldn't express myself. I just felt trapped.
That was the hardest for him to deal with, because that's like him not having breath, Dick not talking. That's who he is, that's his personality. He's bigger than life, and without his voice, it's like, it's not him.
It was such a devastating, emotional blow. Him not being able to engage and not be able to talk, and us not knowing the outcome of that, it was definitely the darkest time. I'm not a medical professional, but I'm going to use the word depressed. I mean, I would say he was emotionally defeated.
At the depths of it, when he was his absolute lowest, how would you describe what he was like?
Angry, irritable, sad, emotional. Pretty much probably what you would expect, but I think it took a huge toll on my mom.
How so?
I just think that she was there for all of it. And my dad, even when he can't speak, he's very much expresses. He's very expressive. So if he's hurting, he's not hiding the hurt. We were at Christmas Mass, and he just broke down during Mass. At that point, he couldn't talk.
What did you think was on his mind then?
Will I be here for Christmas Mass next year?
Toughest year of your life?
Oh my God. The 7 months have been by far the toughest I've ever had to do. Tougher than my eye situation, tougher than anything. I got to despise all the scans, the blood work, and all that stuff, but so needed. Need them.
Torture for you too?
And me too,
Okay.
because I was like the middle person. Nobody could read his writing.
Yeah, she's a trooper. She's the Hall of Famer in the family, not me. So it's Hall of Fame up there, but she's the Hall of Famer. And so I went those 8 weeks, and finally, when I went back, he was able to assess and analyze my problem. I got dysplasia. Fortunately, he said that I'm going to do surgery. I'm going to get you back to where you were. If I get 14 years like you did from the last time, that's pretty cool, man. That's pushing 100. And
this is just the start of the basketball season. This was December. So it was like the worst timing, but there was no alternative. He couldn't go on like that, and you have to correct it. So he was really disappointed, and so he did go and got the surgery.
I'm in a healing process right now. He said, the last visit I had was just 48 hours ago, and was on about 80% in healing. He really wants me to be a little cautious, and I'm following his advice. I get loads of requests now, radio shows, people I love and admire, people that have been so good to me for years, from Dan Patrick to Rich Eisen, all these guys, and it hurts me to say to them, I'm just not able yet to do that length of time, and I know how I get so fired up, and I gotta listen to the doctor.
In total, you couldn't talk for how long?
Oh, it was 3 months. Because after surgery, I had to go on 4 weeks voice rest.
Was there one moment during that entire span that you remember being the most difficult?
Probably going into the last week of it before he went to Dr. Zeitels. I'll be honest, I was scared too.
What were you thinking?
Thinking like, you know, please God, let this, let Dr. Zeitels do his miracles that he does, which he does, to, you know, get him back, you know, working, just being who he is. And in the office, he said, now, Dick, slowly, just let me hear you count. Just count to 10 for me. And I think he was shaking because it's like, oh my God, if something doesn't come out and I don't have a voice, you know, that's, you know, it's like I said, his breath, his air, his oxygen. And sure enough, 1, 2, 3. He said, come on, Dick, you can talk. And then he had his voice, yeah.
While you had low moments like anybody would through the process, there was a moment it turned where you were able to regain that positivity. What was it for you?
It was the moment that Dr. Zeitels told me that you're going to talk to me. I'm going to get you back to me and you. And when I heard that, it just gave me such a lift. Zeitels, I want you to share with the people the great news you just gave me. Brought me to tears. Tell the people.
Sure. Real pleased, Dick. His exam today looks tremendous. He's healed the areas on his vocal cord that had the dysplasia and that had been traumatized because of the enthusiasm. At this point, you're about 80% healed, but what is key is the area where you make sound, the phonatory area of the vocal folds looks tremendous, so I can restore you to speaking.
But through it all, thank God, it's all worked out. I plan on doing a game. I have a goal. I'm going to do it. I will do a game at 100 years of age. Take that to the bank. I will do it.